Welcome to NextLabs Expert Q&A Series. This series was designed to inform you of relevant cybersecurity topics via expert knowledge.
Welcome back to the NextLabs Cybersecurity Expert Series. In this episode, Janne Nurmi will be covering limitations of traditional authorizations in the SAP space, with a focus on the defense field. Janne is the Associate Director for SAP, IPT, H&PS at Accenture. Now, Janne will introduce himself before we move into the questions.
Hello all, my name is Janne Nurmi. I am Public Sector Associate Director in Accenture and based in Helsinki, Finland. I have been working in the IT industry more than 20 years already, and the last 18 years I have worked mainly with the public sector industries and focusing on the defense SAP implementations across the globe for the last 12 years.
Thanks for your introduction, Janne. Question 1. What are the limitations of traditional authorizations in SAP for the defense field?
Typically, defense organizations are very concerned about the data security. They also have a comprehensive process for determining the classification levels of the data, whether it's top secret, secret, confidential, restricted, or something else. Also, all data is shared with users as a need-to-know basis. Traditional role-based authorizations, RBAC, are not necessarily the easiest and simplest way to achieve. For example, you might have a role of a warehouse manager. Then you would have the access to the warehouse functions in the systems and could access the warehouse information. But in defense organizations, it's very crucial to limit the visibility only to the warehouse where the person is operating, or even limit the materials that you're allowed to see based on the person's classification level or the tasks assigned to a person. When creating these kinds of rules based only on the RBAC, it can be very complex. Also, when authorizations get very complex or complicated, it's also harder to validate those, and this might cause errors or too wide authorizations.
Thank you for your insight, Janne. Question 2. How does attribute-based access control, ABAC, solve this issue?
With attribute-based authorizations, ABAC, you can determine if the user has the authorization based on some attributes of the data in question. For example, in the previous warehouse manager example, this would mean that instead of using authorizations for determining the access to the specific function, we can now examine the authorization based on, for example, warehouse location, warehouse number, or even material number or material type. This makes it possible to have more comprehensive data security concept that also satisfies the defense organizations and their needs.
Great insights, Janne. Question 3. Can ABAC replace role-based access control, RBAC, authorizations?
I don't think that ABAC should be used to replace the RBAC authorizations. In my opinion, those should be used in parallel to complement each other. With RBAC, you can control access to the functions and processes in your system, and with attribute-based authorization control, you can limit the data shown with that process based on attributes and the adhering need-to-know concept. ABAC itself is not a silver bullet that will solve all your authorization needs, but it definitely can increase your system data security and make it simpler and easier to maintain. This itself also increases security. Sometimes simple is better when it comes to the security.
Thank you, Janne. Question 4. Can ABAC help accelerate implementing the Zero Trust principle for SAP?
Many government organizations are practicing Zero Trust principle in their SAP environments. This means that by default, organizations don't trust any user, device, or application attempting to access their SAP systems or use specific transactions or access data. It's very common in defense organizations that all data access is granted only on a need-to-know basis. To accelerate the implementation speed of the Zero Trust principle, attributes-based access control can help accelerating implementing for SAP by providing a more flexible and fine-grained approach to access control. Overall, attribute-based authorizations can help defense organizations to implement Zero Trust principle by providing more flexible and granular approach to access control that can help improve security and streamline access management.
Thank you so much for your thoughtful answers, Janne. We appreciate you coming on and joining us on the NextLabs Cybersecurity Expert Series. And thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next installment of our series.